Okay, let me quickly ask you about the IR bill. There's some conjecture over what a small business is. There'll be a carve-out for them. We hear from the Small Business Minister that 2 million small businesses will be protected from this collective bargaining. Are you any clearer? I mean, you were sitting in the House yesterday. Are you any clearer as to what that carve-out is and who it's for?
No, I don't think that's been reached. I mean, I had a number of discussions with Tony Burke, the Minister responsible for the Fair Work Amendment Bill. There was a strong indication also in his speeches that he acknowledges he will need to amend the definition of small business and
what
where
do you
that
think it should
threshold
be?
is. Well, I proposed an amendment that it should be for businesses with 50 full-time equivalent staff. I think by then you are getting to a substantial size business that has an HR or at least the capacity to manage the process of enterprise bargaining, and especially if they're going to have to bargain with larger competitors, which
so
is
that's
what
a good
this bill
point. So
provides
you're
for.
looking at it on an employee basis. You're not looking at turnover, revenue, profit, which is how we usually see the size of a business. Is that being listened to by the government, or are they looking at what is traditionally the way to define it?
And that is the difficulty, is that traditionally you do look at it from a size of sort of revenue, but actually the government's own definition is saying businesses as small as having 15 employees. So they have relied upon a headcount situation. So looking at that headcount, a business with 15 employees, and people should be clear, this includes any part-time or casual. So you get to a headcount of 15 very quickly. These are very small
I mean, that would mean the local cafe, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Your local grocer shop, your local cafe, your local pub, all will be, you've got the cleaners, you've got the part-times, you've got your after-school staff, you will get there really quickly. And my discussions with the government have been a bit frustrating because they keep saying, look, it's not the vibe of the thing. We don't intend for it to capture these businesses. But the reality is their legislation does capture those businesses. So they need to be sensible.
So they wanted you to vote for a vibe.
Businesses.
Is that right? They wanted you to vote for a vibe?
That was my words. A lot of the discussion was, look, it's not the intention of the bill to capture these small businesses. We want them to go into single enterprise bargaining streams. It's not intended that they be caught up in multi-employer bargaining. But the reality is the capacity through the legislation is there. So the vibe of the thing doesn't really work for me. I want to see protections so that small businesses are safe from that situation. Because I don't think anyone will win. Wages won't grow, employees won't win, and employers won't win, especially as we recover from COVID. Okay,
I just quickly want to ask you about Manly West Public School, those students and teachers injured in that accident. It's in your electorate. Do you have any update on the conditions of those kids?
I haven't had an update, but my thoughts are really with the families and the staff. I think it's an amazing school. I know the principal well. I've visited many times. The kids are incredibly energetic and smart. And an accident of this type is really, really sad and concerning. And I think I understand it's not an unusual accident to happen around this experiment. And so it maybe is something the Department of Education needs to consider.
Yeah, terrifying. Zali Steggall, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.